Please be advised we are speaking in our own individual capacities and not representing any companies we may work for.
We are not your lawyers, and any information given during this podcast does not constitute as legal advice and is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Enjoy the episode. Hi guys, I'm Katie.
And I'm Nicole.
And welcome back to Girls Gone Legal. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode. We're in our comfy seats. So, you know it's a good one when we're in our comfy seats.
I was just saying, I think I could sit here all day. I might fall asleep here. I don't know.
Yeah, but we can't fall asleep. We have such an effective, English. I gotta slow down. We've obviously chugged our coffees already, so let me slow down.
I'm shaking a little bit.
Yeah, but anyways, we have an amazing guest here today that's gonna be chatting with us. We thought we want to kind of venture outside of the people we usually have on.
Yeah.
Season 2, Girls Gone Legal, we're spicing it up.
Yeah, let's spice it up.
We have Lisa coming on today. Nicole will give you her full bio. She actually works in a sports industry, which I think is so important to hear from a woman in the sports industry, just because it's still such a male-dominated realm. So we'll tell you a little bit about her, and then we'll hop right into some questions. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to have Lisa on.
Take it away, Nicole.
All right, so Lisa Caprara is a force of nature who is multi-skilled and talented, a New Jersey native who has expanded her success across the United States. A 5-year college standout soccer player for University of Hartford, Palm Beach Atlantic, and the University of Tampa led her to become a professional soccer player in Tampa Bay, which I love because, as we talked about in previous episodes, soccer player growing up.
Yeah.
Caprara's discipline and drive for success on and off the soccer field has developed a foundation for many other incredible skills and unstoppable mindset. Lisa is a highly requested motivational speaker and entrepreneur who is a natural on-air personality. She worked as an in-game stadium host for various teams, including the New York Yankees. Besides performing on air, she works behind the scenes of the Yes Network, creating social media covering, ready for it, a bunch of sports teams, New York Yankees, Brooklyn Nets, the New York Liberty, and much more. In addition, Lisa will work in studio for FanDuel Sports, so interesting, covering the Tampa Bay Lightning, Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, the Panthers, Marlins, and several other professional sport teams. She also trained and coached the younger generation of soccer superstars at IMG Academy. After having a near-death experience from getting hit by a car at a young age, she talks on developing confidence, decision-making, growth, mindset, leadership, multitasking, competition, time management, and creating the best version of ourselves, along with many other topics. So Lisa really touches on it all. Very inspiring to a lot of people. Lisa is also involved in several charity organizations, such as Feeding Tampa Bay and West Palm Beach Cleanup, as she has a passion in giving back. So I just love her background and her story.
Yeah.
And I know me and Katie are just so excited to have Lisa on.
100%. I feel like the definition of someone who can do it all. So I'm super excited to let you guys hear about all the amazing stuff she's doing. So with that, take it away. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. We just told everybody about you, but we want to thank you, first of all, for coming in and talking with us today.
Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited.
Perfect.
We're so excited to have you.
I know.
So exciting.
And Nicole was very excited. She's like, oh my gosh, a fellow former soccer player. She's really excited.
I've talked about soccer in previous episodes. Now we have a former professional soccer player. It's perfect. It's perfect.
I love it. Love soccer.
I mean, you know what? I feel like that's a good place to start. I would love to dig into a little bit about that, because I feel like you have such a dynamic journey, and we've talked about this in so many episodes that the legal profession is not linear. Everyone kind of has their own roots to it. So I guess for you, from college soccer to professional sports media, mentorships, what was it that drives you to keep pushing boundaries in so many different areas?
So it's easy to get comfortable and to be satisfied, but you always have to have that fight in you. You know, once you lose that fight and that hustle, that's when things get stagnant and very boring. But you have to constantly find these different challenges to keep yourself engaged, motivated, and kind of always look for the what's next opportunity. Never say no to opportunities. That's my biggest thing. I always tell a lot of my athletes.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Never say no to opportunities. You never know where the opportunity is going to take you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
And then I think more specifically with your athletic roots, was there any lessons or things that you still remember to this day that you learned from your soccer career that's had an actual impact on your professional life as a whole?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different lessons that you learn growing up playing soccer, even on and off the field, you know. But you can never like give someone else the pen. Like you're the author of your own story and you write your own story. I always tell people that, you know, you're in control of every decision you make, people you surround yourself with every day, the decisions you make on the soccer field, especially how much effort you're putting in. You know, you're the author of your own story. You can't give anyone else the pen or the paintbrush. You know, you're the artist of your own story. So you control everything. You control your mood. You control every single thing.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Yeah, and I find in the legal profession, it's hard sometimes to control like like you have
So much
control
is
of your
out of your
mindset,
control.
but there's times where I'm like, all right, I gotta stay strong and I want to like focus and just keep going. But then there's a point of me, I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. And like, how do I keep going? But it's all about control and just grounding yourself. And that goes right back to sports, when you're exhausted and you want to sit down and you want to get off the field, but you can't. You got to get up, you got to keep pushing and just show the strength that you have in you, right? So in your bio, we touched upon how you survived a near-death experience at a young age. So my question to you is, how did that moment shape your outlook on life and your mission to inspire others?
So that was a huge part of my life. Getting hit by a black Mustang going 45 miles per hour as a pedestrian was definitely life changing. I felt like I was giving a second chance at life. In that exact moment, I blacked out. I went like airborne. I hit the ground. My mom, my sister were with me. And in that moment, it changed my entire life because I felt like everything got taken from me. I didn't exist. I wasn't dreaming. I didn't know if I'd wake up again. So like having that like near death experience was terrifying. It was so scary because I just thought that I would never be able to see my family again. And once I felt that, it's like nothing else mattered. Like all these little problems that people face, these little issues, these ups and downs. It doesn't mean anything, because once you hit that extreme, like emotional feeling that you're never going to exist again, it's like it changes your whole perspective on life.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's so scary.
And I mean, I feel like it's also one of those things where it changed your life in so many ways that looking back on it, we've talked about this before, like the butterfly effect. Like, how would your life be different if that didn't happen? And like, we say things like, don't be afraid to put yourself forward. Don't be afraid to make yourself look dumb. Don't be afraid to be wrong. And after something like that happens, I feel like all of those little fears that you're talking about just go out the window. And those silly little things that weren't a big deal, you now realize, yeah, they really aren't a big deal. It's something that I should never have spent time worrying about. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting to hear your change of perspective on life in general after that happened.
Yeah. It definitely was it hit me hard. But then once I realized I got a second chance at life, I said to myself, I want to give back in any way possible. I want to be a huge impact in the world. I want to motivate people. I want to make people better. I want to do so much more because I feel like I was just given this gift of a second chance at life. And I just was like, you might as well make the most of it.
100%.
I saw this, I don't know if it was a quote or a meme, and I actually saw it the other day. And it kind of just like hit hard. It said something like, and I don't quote me on this, something like the one thing people think they have in like in their life is time. Like, don't think like, oh, I'll do that one day. I'll do that one day. Like, do it now. Like, if there's something like you're passionate about and you want to do, like, go for it. Like, because it just
100%. You never know until you do it. I mean,
exactly.
And I mean, I feel like experiencing at a young age is also a whole different layer to it, right? Like, it's one thing to experience it in your, like, after you've lived a whole entire life, but when you're so young, that is just like a different, I mean, maybe it was a kind of good as a weird word, but like it made you switch your mentality so young that you almost had your whole life to live it to its fullest. So
yeah, I feel like honestly, it made me so mentally tough. Like, I feel like I could survive anything. I feel like invincible almost in a way. Where I got hit 45 miles per hour. I was so lucky. Like, if I got hit like flat on straight, I would have probably like not been here. But I got hit on my side, and then I like hit this tree, and it was crazy. I got back up again. Then I rushed to the hospital, got a full body X-ray. And
oh gosh,
just the fact that everything was fine, I didn't break a bone. It was just like a miracle.
Yeah.
And I honestly really truly believe that miracles can happen in anything you do. When I talk to people every day, because I'm a motivational mindset coach and speaker, I tell people like, what are your struggles? What are you dealing with right now? Because everybody's dealing with something, like exactly. You have to be able to like get through it, because this pain, this fear, whatever you're feeling, these emotions you're feeling right now, they're only temporary. And you're the author of your own story. You get to control everything that goes on. So it's like, what are you going to do now? How are you going to move forward? How are you going to overcome this? And I like to help people get through that.
And how was that like for you? Like, how was that idea of overcoming that traumatic event, that mental journey? How, like, was there any skills that you would say really helped you build that resilient mindset?
So basically, just kind of like feel that feeling of like surviving. Like I felt like, mentally tough. I can survive through anything. And then when I got into the soccer field, running sprints, I had this like go-getter mentality constantly. And that, shifted from on the field to off the field in business. So when you have that go-getter mindset, it's kind of like don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. Like if you want something, you go and get it because no one else is going to help you. No one's going to do it for you.
Right.
That's where you have to work hard to get what you want because this is your life. Like you only get one life. That was kind of my whole big perspective on everything. Like, wow, like you get one life and then that's it, so you get to choose how you live it,
100%. No, I love that.
Yeah, no, I think that's so important. And that's great advice for the audience listening.
I mean, I think it applies to you no matter what point of your life you're in, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we've said this, especially in like Nicole is now, she was my mentor when I met her. So she was 2 grades above me, I guess. We were in very different points in our legal journey, but we were having the same kind of struggles.
Yeah.
And I feel like no matter where you are, this is advice that is going to help you. This is going to, you can be trying to apply for schools. You can be trying to find a job. You can be deciding to quit your job. And this is just like, I don't know. I feel like it's something that we all sometimes know, but you need to hear again. And you need to really it's not just words. You need to now follow through with the action.
Yeah.
You need that reinforcement constantly because some people forget it too. You get distracted, you get pulled in different directions and you got stuff going on in your life, but you have to always be reinforced of who you are, your purpose, and have a reason for everything you do.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Like just graduating law school and kind of trying to figure myself out. I'm like who am I? Like what am I doing right now? And that's why I love like seeing stuff on social media and these motivational speakers because it helps me. It reminds me, okay, I need to like just sit, relax, and remember life's okay and just keep going.
Do you find that as like when you do like the motivational stuff with other people that it's a lot of the same problems, like a lot of the same, like I'm feeling lost or I don't know, like do you see that as like a trend?
Yeah, you gotta know your purpose. A lot of people struggle finding their purpose and what they're good at.
Right.
People get lost because they let other people control their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta know 1, what makes you happy, 2, what you're good at, and 3, what you're most successful at, where you feel like you're thriving and growing and not just trapped in this, almost, it feels like a jail cell, honestly. Like if you don't feel like you're growing, then it's like, right? Like how do you feel when you're not growing? You feel stagnant,
Yeah.
So that's like not really a good feeling to have.
No, 100%.
I'm gonna go off topic really quick because when we read your bio before, I just have like a million questions because I think your background is so cool and you've worked with so many sports teams, New York Yankees, Brooklyn Nets. I know you're gonna be working for FanDuel, covering Tampa Bay Lightning, the Heat, all of that.
Yeah, is that happened or is that like pending? Like you're
So right now currently I operate the Yes Network, the Yankees Entertainment Sports Network, social media. I'm like a digital content producer. I covered the New York Yankees, the Brooklyn Nets. We did NYCFC soccer, the Women's Liberty NBA, and many other teams. I worked under Bally Sports, but now it's FanDuel. So I covered the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Rays, the Orlando Magic, Miami Heat, the Marlins, and the Panthers hockey.
Amazing.
How do you manage all those different teams?
Yeah,
That's just what I want to know.
A lot.
I've done a lot of different positions within the broadcast booth. I directed the New York Yankees spring training, audio. My biggest thing coming out of college, I went to 3 universities. I went to Hartford, Palm Beach Atlantic, and the University of Tampa. And I travel, I'm up north and down south constantly. I'm always on an airplane.
Yeah.
But I basically thought to myself, I want to do as much as possible because I never want somebody to point a finger in my face saying that I don't have the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So building a resume for yourself is really important. Doing as much as possible is so important because then you learn what you like and then you learn what you don't like. And knowing what you don't like is just as important as knowing what you like.
Right.
So when you do all these things, you meet a lot of people and building relationships is huge. Your circle and the people you surround yourself is your network. Your network is your net worth.
Right. I love that's my favorite quote. I like a quote that all the time.
So basically, I liked getting involved in a lot of things as possible just to see what I like, what I don't like, and just to learn everything and to grow as fast as possible because I never wanted to waste time. Wasting time is the most frustrating thing. You want to make worth of your time. You want to do as much as possible within the hours and not the days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that.
I know a lot of people that like want to get into sports and do what like be doing what you're doing and kind of are struggling like where do I even start? So I guess like our question is like building a resume early on. Like did you know you want to go into this, and if you did, like how hard was it getting into this space? Like what struggles did you face?
So coming out of college, actually I was a junior and I was looking for an internship.
Uh-huh.
So being in Tampa Bay, I'm surrounded by a lot of different sports, Tampa Bay Lightning. And then I found out the New York Yankees, my favorite MLB baseball team growing up in the Northeast.
Yes, I'm a
their
Yankees
spring
fan too.
training is in Tampa. And I was like, perfect. I was playing soccer. And then I went right to the top. I said, you know what? This is what I want. I want to work with the Yankees organization. I love the New York Yankees. I always have. And they've always been on my TV every Sunday when mom's making her meatballs.
Oh, my mom was making her meatballs today. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I'll go home after this and eat
I
some.
had that go-getter mindset mentality. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go get an internship with the New York Yankees. And that was my decision. So I went to the stadium and that's what happened. I networked. I shook every hand as possible. And I got an internship. And then I started working my way up. I started learning everything, the camera, between audio, between things I didn't even want to do. I just did it, just to put on my resume. And eventually I got the on-air stadium host position because one day someone didn't show up for the Star Spangled Banner. So they were trying to find a singer. They're like, oh, who can sing? And I was like, me. I can sing. And I grabbed the mic.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Never say no to opportunity type of thing. Don't let fear take over that, or the what ifs. Those are all negative thoughts that you never want to stick with. They never get you far in life.
Wait, so you sang?
That was your first
myself,
hit?
give me the mic. I'll go sing the Star Spangled Banner.
No, you didn't.
I went out in the field. I started busting out the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, I love that.
Then right after that, they're like, "You want to be the in-game stadium host?" I was like, "Yeah,
really,
absolutely."
That's crazy. So prior to singing, that day, did you have any other like game day host experience at all, or was that your first?
So my first in-game host was the New York Yankees. Then I hosted the NISL, and then I got into Major Arena Soccer League, and I started doing sideline reporting. And I just been, I've been doing interviews constantly on YouTube, just interviewing people with a lot of experience, players who played on Major League Baseball teams, and just kind of just growing, like practicing at like doing interviews and doing that, and just growing in every aspect I could.
No, I love that.
Yeah, no, I love that too. And I know me and Katie are both very into sports, and we love that. And we want to get into like the legal side of entertainment and sports.
Do you actually work with anyone on the legal side, or is that just is it pretty separated?
So I'm like very involved in different things. I wear like a lot of different hats. I'm a motivational mindset coach, and I'm an entrepreneur. I launched my own popcorn line, which is great, based out of Nevada. I started really expanding the way I thought and my network. So, being from New Jersey, I didn't just kind of like stick in that circle. I said like, coming to Florida, I really met a lot of people from a lot of different places, which is cool. And having that mindset of always wanting to grow and be involved in different things, it opens up a lot of different doors. So when you have that mindset, you never know what's going to come at you or what opportunities are going to be.
Wait, can you tell us more about your popcorn line? I'm really interested in this because I eat popcorn every night.
So I spoke on a mindset panel in Nevada, and a guy named Dave Goodwin, who had a popcorn business called Goodies. He's based out of Nevada, and he wanted to scale his company. So we partnered up, me and my business partner, Darren Prince, who is the head of Prince Marketing Group. He represents a lot of celebrities like Hulk Hogan, David Goggins, Carmen Electra, Magic Johnson, a lot of iconic names, Muhammad Ali. Like he's worked with the top celebrities in the world pretty much. And I got really involved in the celebrity space and all, I would go into a lot of events, Aspire and like RiseCon. I just met a lot of different people with, networking. So we came up with Lisa's Goodies, my popcorn line, but now we're working on bigger projects like microwavable popcorn.
Cool. That's what I like. I like the microwavable popcorn. That's my favorite.
So you're kind of all over the place in terms of entrepreneurship. Like you're a great definition of an entrepreneur.
And we talk about doing it all.
Yeah.
You can do it all.
Do you, as an entrepreneur and doing basically everything, like doing a little bit of everything, hands in all the buckets, do you have a legal team or an advisor that you consult regularly, or do you kind of do it case by case? Like do you, for all your legal work, is that someone you have like a direct contact with, or what's that like for you?
So, You're looking at her. I manage all my own stuff. I trust myself more than anything. But if I ever need like a second opinion on things, I work closely with a lot of high successful entrepreneurs and other people that, it's good to get advice from people who've been in the business 50 plus years or, like who have a lot more experience than you do because they've experienced more. You learn quicker like that too. If you talk to people that are older than you and that have been through what you're kind of doing, then you can value their advice. But if you're talking to someone who's never done what you've done before, you're not really going to be sure if that's the advice you could take because what do they know?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Have you ever had to advocate for yourself legally, like pushing back on unfair terms or like asking for better compensation, like through these brand deals or through these networking opportunities?
Yeah, being confident in your self-worth is really important. What you bring to the table, you have to know that because then you can negotiate prices, especially with like marketing groups and stuff like that. If depending on what you're doing or what you're bringing to the table, yeah, you better get paid the right price. You have every right to speak up. People will take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Especially like, as being like a woman too, like a lot
100%.
dealing with a lot of older like men and stuff like that. They will think that you don't know as much as they do.
Right.
Yeah.
But your team is kind of like your network too. Like the people around you and the people you surround yourself with, if they're very successful people, it's kind of like that's your knowledge too. So what they know, and you kind of work together and teach each other like what's right, what's wrong, what not to do.
Yeah.
That's very important to know, like what not to do.
Exactly. So when you're negotiating, so because you're a one-man band, you're doing it all, and that's so amazing and so inspiring for us, for your audience. When you're like negotiating, and say you're just like dealing with a contract, right? So are you like looking at these contracts yourself and then like sending them to attorneys? Like how does that work for you in like that kind of space?
So I have an attorney. I would send it to an attorney to look over for sure. Yeah, you looking at it yourself is not good enough, especially if you're not like a lawyer or anything like that.
Yeah.
I know we always sound crazy because we always say it, but it's like, if even no matter how good you think it is, it's like just send it to an attorney because you'd rather have someone
definitely send it to an attorney.
Yeah.
And if you do, if you should check out the movie My Cousin Vinny. I love that movie. Have you ever seen it?
I love that movie. So
people go to law school and be like, "Why'd you go to law school?" And it's like My Cousin Vinny.
Because you watched My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
I have a sweatshirt.
Do you?
Yeah. I love that movie. And when I was going to take the bar in February, I was in the hotel room the night before the bar exam. And I was like just studying. It's like 11 p.m. Like I have to be up at like 6, 7 a.m. And I was like, I just wish like My Cousin Vinny would come on the TV right now, like while I'm studying, like maybe take a break. And it came up. It came on the TV and I go, maybe that's a sign. That's a good sign. And I like fell asleep to My Cousin Vinny the night before I took the bar exam.
Funny.
So I thought that was fun. But yeah, that's a great movie. And I know a lot of people in Jersey love that movie.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, I think I'm so interested in the fact that you have your hands in all of these buckets just because you're meeting two people who are very similar. Like we have a million things going on all the time. And I think it's a thing that we bonded over because it's kind of looked not down upon in law school, but even in like postgraduate education, I feel like a lot of people say you got to be focused on one thing, right? Like if you have a focusing on plan B, then you're not focusing enough on plan A. And I just don't think that's true. I think we have a lot of different things going on and we're always managing their time. So I guess on that note, is there any tips or things that you would say worked for you when it came to time management or multitasking and just being able to organize your amazingly all like life of everything going on at once?
Yeah, so I agree. Time management is so important. It really is. You don't want to waste your time entertaining people that aren't going to bring value to you or make you a better person. So you have to go by the hours. The days go by like this. The years, the months, it goes by so fast. So you have to like put in the work and you have to really tell yourself, is this worth my time? Like going to this place, is it worth my time? Or can I be doing this?
Right.
What's going to benefit me more? And you have to make that decision. Sometimes it's also like, going out with your friends or working on whatever you're working on, like stuff like that. You need to be able to manage what's important to you and what's not. You can't put all your eggs in one basket and rely on somebody else for your own success because, like, for example, relationships. Like if you are all over your man or your man's all over you, whoever's the successful person in the relationship, that person could tell you goodbye one day. And then what do you have going on for yourself?
Right.
You know, like that's always really important. You never want to rely on someone else to make you happy. Your happiness comes first. You know, like stuff like that's really important. So manage your time. Like being in a relationship too, like you have to have your own success. You have to have your own life before you could be someone's wife, you know?
Right.
Like
Yeah, no, 100%.
I agree. You always have to have your own back.
yeah, you have to have your own path. And whatever, you know, is more important to you. Like multitasking too, you know, that's important to do. Like if you can do it.
Right.
You know, some people can't multitask. So you got to pick and choose what's very important to you. You should put all your focus on that if you want that to be done really good, whatever that is, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I want to go backtrack a little bit and talk more about like the sports industry and kind of how your experience of like being a woman in a male dominated industry. Like, so, you know, in the legal, I would say in the legal industry, a lot of people say like,
especially like in the legal sports world. Like, I mean, I think sports world as a whole, they're getting better 100%, but it is a male dominated industry. It's no different in the legal sports world. So I guess our thoughts are, I would love to hear like your stories and what your thoughts are and how it's been like navigating that.
Yeah. My biggest thing is just finding genuine people, because there's a lot of people that are fake out there, or they'll sell you stories. You know, whatever you're doing in life, like, for example, just being like an entrepreneur, a lot of people, for example, will talk about ideas. Oh, it sounds nice. You know, they'll come up with the whole idea. They'll tell you how it ends, and they never actually do it. They never do anything towards it. They don't work towards it. The story itself kind of is just like, all right, it's done. We talked about it. It's over with. And no one actually takes action. You know, people will tell you what you want to hear. But you have to sometimes, even in like relationships too, like relationships, business, whatever it is, people will tell you what you want to hear, but you need to like pop the bubble for a second and take a step back and watch what they're doing.
Right.
You know, because words mean nothing.
Right.
Words mean nothing. Like someone could tell you anything, but it's what they do. It's the actions they take. You have to watch that. You have to analyze that, and you have to see if there's any red flags. You know, someone could tell you one thing, but they're not actually doing it. But you recognize this is weird. Like something's weird, something's off. So that's when you have to pause and analyze the situation and kind of, you know, protect yourself in a way. Yeah.
No, 100%. Do you have any, like, feel free if you don't have any or you don't want to talk about them, but do you have any stories that you've been through where you've had to face while like being sometimes the only woman in the room in these like sports conversations and in this world?
Yeah, like when you're young and motivated, like your vision, sometimes your energy is different than somebody who's been in the business for like a really long time, but it hasn't gone their way. You know, like sometimes you'll come across those people where like you're excited, you're motivated, you'll do anything to be successful. And then the person you're talking to has a negative mindset and they don't believe that things will work out because they've been burned before.
Right.
Or it didn't work their way, or, oh yeah, right, that seems crazy. Like that dream, that idea, like good luck. You ever hear somebody say that to you, like good luck with that? It's because they can't do it. You have to be careful when you counter those people. You know, when you tell somebody your dreams, your vision, your goals, if they don't support you or believe in them, or they think it's a little crazy, it's because they don't believe in themselves. And they don't think that they can do it. You need to get away from those people. You need to surround yourself with others that maybe have already done it, or someone who actually believes in you, or someone who can see your vision just like you do.
Yeah. And I know like the entertainment law space and like going through law school, a lot of people are like, oh, you can't go in-house right away. You have to go to a firm, or there's a lot of controversy about that. And I just think it's interesting where people are telling you like, no, you can't. But it is possible. And 100%. It is possible. Like, you know, we want to do entertainment law, and it's it's small niche industry, and it is possible to get into it. If you're really passionate about something, like you just have to go full through it, I think.
Yeah, you have to be like watch me. Like you have to love proving people wrong, because there's a lot of people that are going to hate on you, and there's a lot of people going to bring you down, or they're jealous, or whatever it is. That person, you don't want that person by your side, because they'll be like that through everything you do in life. You need somebody to uplift you. Somebody to be there for you, to help you out, to talk good about you in rooms that you're not in. that's huge. Like two-faced people, I don't really mix well with.
Right.
You know, like if I'm like gonna be there for you and do anything for you, I expect you to do the same for me.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what giving back is all about, and just being a good person.
Right.
Yeah, and I think no matter where you're going through in life, just giving back and being real to the people around you and surrounding yourself with real people is so important because like you'll see like a different glow in yourself when you're just surrounded by like good people and people that want the best for you. And I even know for me, like I just like going throughout different stages of life, I see myself and I'm like, oh, I was really down that time. Oh, now like I'm like so motivated and I want to do all these
It
all
goes
these
back
things.
to your other quote that I love, but it's like your network is your net worth, and like that's it's who you surround yourself with, and sometimes you just need someone in your corner who's gonna bring out the best in you. So
Yeah.
And if you ever
100%.
have like a bad day or something, like if you have some setbacks, which is normal, and life's not perfect. I mean, I look at life as like a book too. Like every chapter is different.
Yeah.
You know, like there's going to be some times where you are set back. But if you look at archery, right, if you pull back like a bow and arrow, you know, boom, 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 and then you let go, it launches into something great, you know? So when there are setbacks in your life, like you can get pulled back, but it's only going to be great after that.
Yeah. No, I love that. I haven't heard that like
I love
analogy.
it.
I really like that. And I'm going to keep that with me when I leave here. Okay. So we want to do some like rapid fire questions.
Yeah. Are you good? We'll do some like quick hypotheticals, rapid fire.
Yeah.
Let's just stir it all up. So you want to start us off, Nicole?
I can start us off.
Sure.
All right. So you're in the thick of sports energy every game day. What's one brutal truth about the sports industry that fans would be shocked to hear?
Not everybody in your team wants you to do well.
Ooh. Oh, I like that one. Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to be competing with the people on the other team.
Yeah, I like it.
What position were you in soccer?
Forward.
I knew you said you just scored, but I just had to ask what position.
Okay, what is one mindset hack or like a daily habit that you swear by, but most people would think it's like too intense or too much?
What's a mindset hack?
Yeah, or just like something you do every day.
Running sprints, I think really makes you a better person.
Yeah.
Because you know, like you deal with so much stuff in your life, like you just got to get it out there. So when you're on the field, you got to get on the line and you just got to run sprints, run suicides. You feel so much better after that.
Oh my gosh, I wish I had the stamina for that, but you know what? Maybe I should start doing that. Just start running sprints.
I feel like sprints. I'm gonna have PTSD.
I'm like, if I'm lucky if I get usually I'm like, oh, I'm anxious. I'm gonna go on a walk, and I get maybe like 10 minutes out the door. I'm like, okay, turning around. Yeah. So, you want the next one?
Yeah, I got the next one. All right, let's see. What's the biggest lie people tell themselves about success?
The biggest lie? That you're doing the best you can.
Oh,
I like that.
I do like that a lot. Hard love, like you gotta tough love, figure it out, pick yourself up.
Because you know, like when you really care about something, like when you're passionate, like you said, you'll do anything to get the job done or to protect that. You know, so if you always make up excuses, you don't really care that much.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think it's easy for a lot of people to victimize themselves. And have a reason, and the glass is always half empty. So, yeah.
But it's like another thing with the words and the actions. Like it sounds good, I'm doing the best I can, but are you really? Because I see you sitting on the couch.
Yeah. That's definitely like that's a mental game and a mindset that like you know you have a block. I mean, I remember when I was growing up playing soccer, like I always had like a mental block sometimes, and it was like. No, I can definitely do more than I'm doing right now, but I'm like stopping myself. And then when I went to law school, I was like, all right, I cannot let that affect me. Yeah. How would I let it affect me in soccer? Yeah. I just have to like go full through. But I do notice like sometimes, even to this day, I notice sometimes I'll get like a mental block and I'm like, can I do it? Can I do it? I'm like, all right, relax. Like I've gotten through a lot. I'm going to get through that and just keep going. Like when I took the bar exam again, you know, I had a mental block and it was hard, but you know, you surround yourself with the right people and you push yourself and you can do a little more. It helps.
And I think, I mean, one thing that like stood out to me, I find, is when you say, I mean, in law school, it's so easy, in school in general, it's so easy, I feel like, to say, oh, like I did enough. I studied enough. I can go to bed now. I did enough. I'm doing good enough. And then you look back after you take the exam and you don't do as well as you wanted or something happens and you say, well, was that really enough? And it's such an easy like throwaway to say like, you're trying your best, but are you? So I think it's a good reminder to kind of self-reflect sometimes and really realize like, are you actually hitting your ceiling?
I've definitely done that before. I've definitely told myself like, oh, I'm good. And then I get like an exam back where I wasn't good.
Yeah.
I was not good. Like, let's not tell myself that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So I want to
second last, 2 more questions and then we'll let you go. But
yeah. I know. I've like, I'm jumping all over the place because I keep thinking of so many random things. I'm like, wait, I want to talk to you about this, and this. I want to go back to sports again really quick because I just love talking about sports. Can you give us like your favorite memory of working in the sports industry, like a specific, I don't know if it was a
specific moment or
I'm having too much caffeine. A specific moment or that you just like loved.
There are that's a hard question because there's so many moments that I loved between winning state champions when I was in high school and that adrenaline feeling after scoring the winning goal against my team that kicked me out. You know, there's so many different feelings. Probably like overcoming like challenges too. Like I remember one time when I was on air for the Yankees, they changed the reads up on me. I had to memorize like a paragraph, and they called me real quick. They're like, "Hey, here's a new paragraph you have to say in front of like 25,000 plus people," and they're all New York fans. You know, the hardest crowd. So I'm like, okay, so you want me to memorize 2 paragraphs in 1 hour and to speak in front of 30,000 people? I'm like, okay. I can do this. I have no other choice but to do this.
Right.
I was in the mirror for like literally 30 minutes just repeating the lines and finally doing it. Because when you're on air, you can't read. Like you can't pull up a piece of paper and start reading like this,
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool that I did that, in front of the toughest crowd. But yeah, there's so many. I mean, I've shared like stages with like celebrities and talked on panels with like some of the top people in the world, pretty much. David Goggins, one of my good friends. He's a motivational speaker. He's always running. I don't know if you've heard of David Goggins before, but being on stage with him was pretty cool because I really love his mindset and I agree with everything he says. He's a go-getter. He's tough, and I really like enjoyed moments like that.
What is like a worst memory that you remember being in sports? Like, I hope I never have to go through that again.
The worst memory in sports. Probably spraining my ankle. That really hurt.
Rough. Injuries are rough.
I had an important game coming up and I like didn't lock my ankle and it like snapped this way. And then I'm clumsy too. Like I got injured like doing stupid things. I fell off a ladder before, sprained my Achilles.
Oh my god,
stuff like that. But nothing like major where it was just like the worst time ever.
Okay. How about like working, like you're on the Yes Net working with all these teams. Like, do you have like a memory? And you don't have to be specific to which team, but just like
covering Aaron Judge's historic season was amazing. I mean, just to see him and his momentum and his at-bats and everything like that was incredible. He's beating records. He's, one of the best players in Major League Baseball. That was really cool to cover him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I mean, just the people. It's honestly, it all goes back to the relationships you make and just the people you meet along the way and just like experiences and the people you get to help too. I really like that. Like the moments I can help somebody out and change their life. And like when I talk to someone and they're very down, they're about to give up, I snap them out of it. I'm like, don't give up. Like you've worked way too hard. I kind of remind people like who they are. I remind them why you started in the first place. People forget that. They let others get into their head and they like don't, they need self-confidence. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have the right people around them to uplift them. And I'm just happy I can do that.
Yeah. No, I love that.
I have one of my best friends I went to law school with. Actually, 2 of my best friends have motivated me so much. And like when I lose my confidence, like they don't even have to do anything or say anything to me, but like just seeing them, like their mindsets, even if they're not meaning to do it, like it just motivates me, reminds me, okay, have some self-confidence and never give up because, we come such a long way in these careers. Yeah. And you work so hard that you just want to keep going. Yeah. And, there's going to be setbacks and it doesn't matter where you're at in life. There's going to be setbacks.
Yeah. Having the right people in your corner is so important.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so this was so amazing. And I know we usually wrap up with just a question. If you could send like one text message, one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
never stop doing what you love, and don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. Like, don't ever let anyone control you, no matter how successful that person is or, you know, what they are to you. Like, you always have to remember who you are, where you come from, and what makes you happy. And that should never be given up for anyone or anything.
Yes,
I love that.
I love that too. You are you, and you are you for a reason, and there's only one of you, and just like love life, right?
Yeah. No, I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. That was such an amazing conversation. I feel like sometimes we don't talk about, I don't know, like the fact that motivation isn't something that's going to be there all of the time. And I think we pretend like it is sometimes in law school, and pretend that like it's just always going to be there. And I feel like it's a good reminder that you have to, sometimes you got to find it. You got to dig in and you got to find it.
Yeah.
I love what you guys are doing. Keep it up. And
Thank you.
I can't wait to meet you guys in the city one of these days.
Yes, 100%.
Definitely.
If we're in Florida, we'll definitely reach out as well.
Oh, of course. Please call me.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We love to have you. I'm sure we're going to bug you again to have you back. But in the meantime, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
That was so amazing. I literally feel like I just went to therapy. I always feel like that when someone like so motivational like that comes on, I'm like, oh, I feel lighter.
I love hearing the motivational advice and talks. I just love having those, especially when you're going through a dark or, you know, struggle like time period. It's just so helpful hearing those. It's like when you see all like the memes on Instagram and stuff or TikTok, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna take this to heart. Yeah. It's just so helpful having those motivational talks. And I hope this this episode today, if you know you're going through something, helped you just have a good mindset, surround yourself with the right people, and everything Lisa said was just so amazing. So
100%.
we're happy to have her.
That was amazing. I definitely feel great coming out of it. So until then, follow us on all of our socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Spotify. You know the drill.
In the meantime,
stay sharp,
stay stylish,
and stay legal. Bye, guys.